All right. How's everybody doing? All right, getting ready.
From Sneak so far in training this year?
He's developed so much and progressed in our system from being here during the off-season, football school, OTAs, from learning everything that we talk about in the playbook, operating at the line of scrimmage, taking control and command at the line of scrimmage when he's changing plays, doctoring protections, and then from a technique standpoint, he's come a long way. There were some things that we want to focus on in terms of his throwing motion, in terms of his base, when he gets moved in the pocket, to allow him to be more accurate downfield, allow him to have more, steam on throws, intermediate throws, and accuracy on short throws. That he took it upon himself to listen and take the individual work that we do onto the field, and we've seen a tremendous amount of growth in him. So I'm happy about how far he's come from where we started.
Can you narrow his base a little bit?
Narrow the base, shorten the stride, and kind of quicken up the release a little bit. A lot of it has to do with knowing where you're going with the ball pre and post snap as well, to where you can get a line and anticipate things. That has a lot to do with it, but those were some of the things that we focused on.
We all know that Lamar is QB1 here. As far as the other guys, how do you see that competition go every day in training?
It's been a healthy competition, with three guys behind Lamar, with Anthony, Josh, and Snoop. They're all having good days, and it's good to say. We have four guys who are competing and playing at a high level. We're still not there yet in terms of deciding on who we'll be to. That'll continue on throughout camp. But I think Snoop has come a long way. Josh, being a veteran that he is, there's things that he has in his game where you're going, yeah, I see why he's played 16 years in the league. And then Anthony is super talented as well, and had an opportunity to play some last year on the road in Pittsburgh, had a good performance at Cincinnati. So we know that he can play in games as well. So we have a really good room. They're competing right now and doing a good job.
T, what have you seen specifically out of Josh as a new here, and then Tyler, just in terms of the specifics of what you like, and maybe things that you'd like to see them do better?
I think that both of them are running our system the way we want it to be ran. I think Todd and myself, we're doing a good job of allowing them to have freedom at the line of scrimmage to change things. And when they do, to know why they're doing it and doing it for the right reasons. I think they're both making great decisions within the system. Outside of that, I think Josh, with his leadership and experience, his anticipation and knowing what's coming, reading defenses and things of that nature, that's kind of where he's at. And that's where his experience kind of shows. And then Snoop is doing the same. He's played a lot of football around here, and his athleticism shows, as we all know. But the both of them are kind of neck and neck in terms of what they're doing for us within the system, and we'll just continue on with the competition. But I just want them to stay consistent. I want Josh to continue to be consistent at the things that he's doing, and Snoop consistently doing the things that he's doing, taking care of the football, making good decisions, and putting the balls in the hands of the guys that we have so many weapons around us now to distribute the ball to.
With Ozell and Jay and Nelson, Lamar's got like three guys who never thrown to about never thrown to before this season. Where do you see right now, like the process of him getting to know their nuances and characteristics? And I just curious about how that's going.
It's going really good. And what's great about them is they're communicating and talking so much with Lamar and talking about what they like, what they don't like. Lamar's talking about how he thinks and where he's going to place the ball. A lot of it, you catch up with guys who haven't been around all of them together during the offseason. They did get together some, on their own before they came to training camp. But what we've seen and what I've seen is the communication. When they're in, when they're not in, they miss one, they get right to it and talk about what happened. And that's improvement from the years I've been here and having coached the wide receivers. That speaks to the veteran leadership of Odell, Nelson, Zay being young and kind of watching those guys. That's a good room to come into as a rookie wide receiver. And then Rashad, all those guys, right? So I think Lamar is doing a better job of communicating and talking about what he thinks and how he sees things to them. And that's a step up from years past. I think the trust is building. You know, when you have someone as talented as he is, some guys may get covered in certain situations where he has a little nuance at the top of his route to where he can still win. And even when he's covered, his catch radius and the strength of his hands allows you as a quarterback to still trust him. And you may hang on that route a little longer with Odell, and you may get off of it with someone else. And that's what I've seen with just his skill set of strong hands, in and out of breaks, strength, jumping ability. You know, he's unique in terms of his size, but how explosive he can still play.
What have you seen from Lamar as he grows more comfortable with Todd Monken's offense?
It's just his anticipation of coverage, blitzes, and his understanding of the concepts and playing within our system. And not getting bored with being disciplined. Not getting bored with being disciplined. Sometimes it can be bored to check it down to the back, right? But that's better than throwing a pick, right? And we saw that last Saturday. We had 9 of them, right? But since then, we've only had 1. And that just speaks to those guys making corrections and knowing I kind of got out of the system a little bit. Let's get back within the system. Sometimes my competitive nature can take over, but this is not the time. And that's why I've seen him grow. He's very competitive, and he's so skilled. And sometimes he can make those plays. But within the confines of what we're trying to do situationally and what we're asking of that play. Yep.
Early in camp, this guy's seemed like it'd be an overthrow. This guy's such a natural talent. Like, is there kind of an easy diagnosis of fix?
Yeah. Well, that's something that we talked about. Like after each week, I go over stats and where we've been accurate and where we can improve as a group and then individually. And we spoke of that after the first week. And he was like, okay. And you know, when Lamar's getting motivated about something, he kind of looks into the sky like, all right, we're going to see about that. And so he spends the time with the guys to do it. And we stress it as coaches about ball placement, about trust, about wideouts being at their spot and us trusting them to be there and putting the ball there. So it's a two-way street. But I think that the main thing about it was he took it upon himself to really focus on that part the last week or so to be better at it. And you saw a throw yesterday where he really looked the safeties off, didn't see Odell at all and threw it to a spot. And it was a perfect throw. We got a PI, but that's growth. That's growth. And we want to continue to do that throughout camp and throughout the season.
All good?
All right, thank you.